Hi there. In our previous tutorial, we set up our static IP address and SSH connection so that we can access our server from the client side by the SSH shell. Now, in this tutorial, we will configure, we will install some tools, and we will create a bash script so that we'll deploy our app automatically based on our application requirement. Here here we are going to see that how can we install node application and a MERN stack application. Actually, this process will be applied for any kind of application, but here we will configure nodejs application, and if you understand the process, then you will be able to configure any application. So for that, I am using a node application. So in node application, we need some common tools like nodejs and MongoDB for database, and I use most of the time Yarn tool, so I will use install Yarn, and we will install the PM2. PM2 is the package manager. We will see that the use of that. At first, we have to install Git, because Git is the medium that will connect our client and the server, so that we can, from the client side, if we push anything, that will be active in our server, that will run our bash script in our server. So this we have to configure Git. So let's install one by one these tools. We can go to our server directly, or we can access our server by the client side. In our previous tutorial, we did that, but if I log out and again login to our server by SSH connection, Ubuntu, instead of like this way, 192.168.0.80, we will install logging via this way, Ubuntu server, because we configure our SSH connection string in our config file. So if I type enter, I can see I am logging to my server. Now I have to install these tools, nodejs tools, one by one. Let's install the Git first. Now it will take a little bit time. Let's go to, we have to install Node and MongoDB. For that, you can go through the Node.js documentation. Actually, we have two ways to installing Node.js. First one is the binary file, or Node.js binary file directly, or PPA, and another one is the NBM, Node Package Manager. Here I will use the PPA format. So for that, I have actually this, I have to run add this script in my bash, and then we have to install Node. So let's configure the Git a little bit, so that we do not have to configure for every package. So I have to type git config global, then username will be, you can pass any username. Then I am typing the same command. This time it will be email, and it will be valid email, but here I am typing a demo email. ubuntu@gmail.com, and then I have to pass my code editor. It is optional actually. user.core.default, editor, and I have to pass my code editor. I am comfortable with Vim, so I am passing the Vim. You can pass any editor you want, and at the end you have to pass the flag wait, because it will wait until you close the Vim session. And then I have to configure our branch name. So let's configure the branch. Actually it will be the init default branch and branch name will be main. It is the common. So now let's check our config. Now I can see my basic configuration is done for Git. So let's install our node. For that I have to copy paste this line. Actually I will if you Google you will see the link, find the link source, or you can choose any method. I will install this line. Now if I actually it says that it takes a little bit time. Based on our network connectivity, I have to type at first update. Because we did not update our index when after installing the repo. File cd-rom did not. Okay, here is a missing part. Let's install the curl part at first. Now I have to run the same command again. Okay, I got the error. So let's fix the error and come back. Now if I type apt up update, I can see here I am seeing an error message because the wrong entry is available exist in our uh, updating file, package manager file. So I have to fix that problem first. So sudo vim etc apt, then it will be source list. Now I can see this entry is available. Now delete this entry and update the machine again. Based on our network connectivity, it will take little bit time. So now update is done. Though I did not update this package, actually it will take little bit time, so I will update later. But let's install our nodejs again, this line. Now I can see this time it is working, downloading and installing. Actually not installing, it is the updating my node package update list. We will update a little bit later, install a little bit later. Now I can see I have to run this command. So nodejs now it will install our nodejs application, and then let's install our MongoDB. For that I have to go to MongoDB official website, and then we have to run this command. If you go to the MongoDB official website like Ubuntu, actually community edition, if you go to the installation section, you can see these 3 scripts must be run one by one. I already copied here, but let's install from here so that you can understand how can we install our Ubuntu MongoDB database. So it takes little bit time. So let's pause our installation. When our installation is done, actually it is done. Now let's copy our first line that I have to import this key at first. And then I have to import this key also to install MongoDB. And then we have to run this command. Now I have to update my system one more time. Sorry, it is not updating system, actually it is update our package manager list updating. And then I have to install my MongoDB service package this way. Now it will take little bit time, like 15 MB. It is based on my network speed. So let's go to the configuration section on what we need. We need Yarn and PM2 to install these 2 packages. So let's pause the video so that when this installation is complete, I am coming back. Now we can see our installation is MongoDB is done. That means if I type Mongo MongoDB, I can see it is throwing error. That means let's check our service is active or not. I can see our service is down. So at first I have to start our service, like system control CTS start MongoDB. This is the MongoDB service. So now if I check my service, now I can see my service is running. But as you can see here, it is says disabled. That means when our server reboots, our service will be off. So we want then when our server is on, our service will automatically up. For that I have to enable this service. So for that I have to run the, instead of start I have to type enable. Now I can see, if I check my status again, now I can see my service is running and it is also enabled. That means on boot time it will automatically run. Now let's log in our Mongo shell again. Now this time I can see my Mongo shell is running. If I type show DBs, I can see if I type show, it will be collections. I can see I have no connections. So if I type DB, I can see I am in test DB. So let's exit. Our Git is installed, Node is installed, MongoDB is installed. So I need to again install these 2 packages. For let's install the Yarn. So I have to type npm, because our npm is installed with the node. So npm install globally Yarn. If I type this command, it will throw error, because in Linux we need to pass the sudo permission. Sudo, it will install our Yarn, and then I have to install the PM2. So what is the PM2? PM2 is a process manager. So let's install the PM2 in the same way. PM2 will handle our node application in a process instead of terminal. terminal session. For example, if when we run any Node.js application, we run in a terminal session. So when we close our terminal, our server will be stopped. But if we run our application in a session instead of terminal, then it doesn't matter our terminal is open or closed, our service will be always up. And one more thing the PM2 provides automatically out of the box is that it will run our service when it allow to run any process when the server is up. It is a system D service, but PM2 also support that, so we don't have to create that process ourselves manually. We can use the PM2 for that. So our service is up and running. So let's create our bash script in the next tutorial so that we can only focus on the script side. So let's see in the next tutorial.